Hey guys, welcome back to Ass Hat Podcast. And you're joined by your weekend warrior, Bat32. And today we are going to be talking 1974's Death Wish, directed by Michael Winner and starring Charles Bronson. Yes, yes. With the chaos and the mob justice in the streets lately, I thought that this vigilante story would be worth talking about today. Now, this is the first VHS release. This came out in 1980. And granted, this has been released now, I think, on a couple different DVDs. And I want to say there is a Blu-ray out now. I think it was an anniversary Blu-ray too as well. But yes, this is the first VHS. 1980 it was released. And when this VHS came out, they also had put out a laser disc. So, a little bit about the plot. Charles Bronson plays Paul Kersey, and they live in New York City. The crime, it's between 1973 74 when this was shot. The crime's starting to get kind of crazy. Bronson plays Paul Kersey. He is, I want to say, an architect. And one day his wife and daughter go to the grocery store, and like a little gang of thugs follow them back to their house. The head thug is played by Jeff Goldblum as Freak Number 1, and probably one of his greatest, not his greatest, but it's one of his greatest performances ever, where he plays a sadistic gang rapist, and they proceed to rape the wife and daughter in the apartment. The wife dies from, I don't know, the trauma, and then his daughter is just her head's just messed up after the whole thing. Paul goes out to Arizona to work on I don't know what it is, some type of I can't remember exactly off the top of my head what they were going to build. Something out on a ranch. Maybe they were expanding a ranch or something like that. And I want to say it was Arizona or Montana somewhere. And the gentleman out there takes him shooting, and then before the trip is over, ends up giving him his own pistol. And Paul decides that he's going to take vengeance, and Paul never actually catches up with the actual rapist. He crosses paths with one of them briefly, but like nobody really knows, who these guys are or anything like that. So he's not actually ever able to get vengeance on the ones who did him wrong. But he basically randomly goes out, very similar to you see later on with Miss 45, where it's just a blind rage vengeance. And of course, Paul goes out there and is taking out muggers. At one point, he had put quarters into a sock, and kind of thing like that. And he's just really just blind with rage and wants revenge, and he doesn't really give a damn who he takes it from. So this was based off a novel, the same name, and I haven't read this novel. Apparently it doesn't follow the novel. This was changed up. This film was also remade in 2018, starring Bruce Willis. And I'll be honest with you, I never watched the remake, because there's no point in remaking this. If you don't have Charles Bronson along with it, then it's not going to work. These were like old man revenge type films. And this film right here, I mean, Charles Bronson was 54 years old when he made this. So, and by Death Wish 5, I don't know, was he in his 70s? I mean, it was getting to kind of be like an inside joke, like, it's time to hang it up with these. And then, this was shot in location in New York City. The soundtrack is by Herbie Hancock. And, like many of you know, this spawned 4 sequels. My favorite out of the sequels, like I love this one right here, Death Wish 1. This is classic. for any kind of revenge film or whatever, the New York gritty, crime infested version of New York from the 70s. This is going to be my go-to. As far as like 80s exploitation type films, I really love Death Wish 3. Who doesn't? It's just one of those over-the-top films that you really can't top. As far as like something I would take seriously, I'm going to lean towards this one. This one's my favorite. This one is an important film from the 70s as far as I'm concerned, even though some people were looking at this like it was some type of cheap exploitation film. I think this had something to say about deep feelings a lot of Americans have. And, who couldn't say that if your wife and your daughter were raped by a gang, that you wouldn't go out and try to do the same thing. You wouldn't try to do the same thing. And lately we're seeing justice on a mob scale in numbers, but it's the same thing. Mob justice is a form of vigilante justice. Now, this is a story of one man's vigilante tale, whereas we're seeing on the news and in the streets now, this is a collective of vigilantism. Some of it's bordering on would be considered obscene criminal activity, but for the most part, society right now is reaping what they sow and getting their just desserts, I think. And this is the same kind of thing here. Paul, they want to catch him. This guy's out of control. He's a criminal because he's doing this outside of the law because he don't have a badge on. And so the police want to stop him. And, I think that this film right here, rings true today. I mean, shot in 1973, between 73 and 74, and it's now 2020. And I think this type of film and its content still rings true today. So, that is a Death Wish, review, VHS review. I know I usually cover comic books on here or like zines, usually something flip through. But I thought I'd do a VHS review, and I did it from another location. I decided to do it in my car this time. And check it out. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this, and especially if you're into exploitation films, this is your first early stop. But it's always a classic Charles Bronson film, and this kind of put him back on the map in the 70s too. So I know I covered this on Exploited Cinema on my old podcast and stuff. I think there's a Death Wish, there's a whole Charles Bronson episode we did, and then it's up on YouTube now at Revival House's channel on YouTube. Check it out. I get more in detail as far as this film and of course Death Wish 2. So, and I have a magazine coming out, a new one I've talked about, of Sleaze Fiend. It should be coming out sometime, I want to say mid to end of the month. So go on to the Sleaze Fiend magazine Facebook page and just keep an eye out for updates. We should be putting a pre-order up soon. I want to thank Newt for letting me always come on this channel and do reviews. And you guys have a wonderful summer. Thank you.